Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 863 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Takamalda, and I am joined today once again in pretend low Earth orbit by the one and only Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And the equally unique Rob Rosemoon.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. It has been nearly 10 days since we gathered.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We're like alcoholics. We get chips to keep track of how long it's been.
Yeah. Who's our sponsor then?
NordVPN?
Yeah, it's got to be Bates because he never shows up, you know?
Yeah, it's Jeff.
He's carrying a lot of guilt for losing all those episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you've got the first one up there. We've got some of the first visual images. Sorry, podcast listeners, of Euclid. They did a nice deep space probe, and look at all them pretty galaxies that are real far away.
Sure is nice.
I'm sure some science will come from that, and they'll tell us the universe is slightly older or younger than it was before. Hard to tell.
Yeah. I just saved it for a video background.
There you
later.
go. That article had a really nice picture too, which was like zooming in, like to show you how much of the sky that photo is covering. And it's like a pixel of the moon. Like if you were to take it with your DSLR, it's so tiny.
It's that little green box.
Yep. And that little, it's a tiny little sample. It's neat.
Well, hopefully this will help with directions, because nothing's worse than being lost in space.
That's true. You were with that robot and that creepy old
Especially
man.
season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, season 3 was rough. I liked
Really
season 1.
jumps the shark.
I really liked the first one.
Yep.
First season was great.
Yep. The next one that we have on the list, Foon Turing and others have been hacking on RedBoxes, the DVD release machines.
Sure.
So that company went out of business, and you would be shocked to learn that one of the things that immediately happened is that somebody ported Doom to it. So if you need to run Doom on a RedBox, you can. There's actually been a number of interesting things that I've seen come out of that, but one of the things is that apparently these things are just stuffed with personally identifying information.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all PII.
And they were talking about, shocked, right? And they were talking about how like the crypto keys are like stored in the program, like right next to it's pretty high end security stuff happening there. It's impressive.
Yeah. Who bought their assets? Did they just not? It's like, we're done. Bye. You know?
Yeah, it does. It would seem unusual for the whatever private equity firm that destroyed yet another business. I'm just
trying to figure out who would buy them at this point. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Chapter 7, so they're just liquidating.
They're just going to sell all this on eBay.
So we could own them.
Oh.
We just had to figure out when the auctions were, you know?
Yeah.
I hope you get to buy the debt too.
Wow, they literally abandoned a lot of them.
Yeah.
Some businesses like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and Kroger are planning to remove their kiosks.
Yeah.
You know,
the RedBox story is pretty amazing. Like,
you know, you could probably just go to your local RedBox emporium, RedBox having emporium, and just, you know, show up with a hand truck and say, remove the RedBox.
Can I have this?
And they're like, okay.
Sure. It's filled with the personally identifying information of hundreds of customers.
It'd probably be better if you didn't even say anything and just started taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That'll work.
Then if anyone asks you, like, I got paid to take
it. It's Halloween, so just go get it like a construction vest, like the reflective vest. And then if you take it, nobody will ask. They'll just be like, whatever.
Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment acquired RedBox for $375 million in 2022.
Wow. What a weird thing to spend money on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I have like a sick fascination with reading the private equity destroys another business stories.
Yeah.
Like if you ever wanted to like see how bad things are going to get, like you just have to read one of those and then understand that that's what's happening every day to healthcare.
Yeah.
Like
or, you know, who was just bought by private equity was Squarespace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that'll be fine.
I'm sure that won't be any problem.
Nope.
It's funny because watching all the WordPress drama and then have another private equity player come in and say, oh, you know, we're just going to pick up this.
It's going to be fine.
So company.
It's going to be fine.
It'll be fine.
Hey, have either of you guys watched Alien Romulus yet?
Well, you know, they're getting a VHS release for your RedBox that you've liberated.
That's right.
Right.
It'll runs on RedBox only. I actually think this is absolutely charming. Yeah. They're making a fully functioning VHS tape version of Alien Romulus.
Sure.
So that you can complete the set. You know, put it next to like Alien versus Predator. And
I also appreciate that they wanted you to know that's a fully functioning VHS,
not just a box.
Not you can just buy a VHS tape that you put in and nothing works or it explodes.
You put a sticker on a box.
It works for 5 minutes and you can't watch the rest of the movie, but it's fully functioning. It's working as intended.
I hope it comes pre-degraded, like it's already a second or third generation copy.
Right.
I've seen Alien
it's probably
Romulus.
Just like somebody recorded over Doctor Who. You know?
Yeah, like in the middle, there's just commercials, but like 80s commercials stuck in the middle.
To break out the VHS rewinder. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, be kind of rewind, baby.
Yeah. I love it. It'd be cool if so I've seen this movie a couple of times and there's no boobs in it. But it would be cool if like there was a boob scene and then like it got all blurry during the boob scene, like every copy of Fast Times at Ridgemont High that you got from the rental store.
Wait, they went blurry?
The most paused scene in the world.
Did you never experience that? I had it a lot where you'd just be watching a movie and boobs would be on the screen and suddenly the tape would get warbled.
That's funny.
It was great, but like that was like when I'm in 6th or 7th grade and biking to the video rental store every day because they have like quarter rentals or even free monthly rentals or something. And so you go to the video rental store where they don't check your ID and you're like, yes, clearly I'm 18. I came here on my bike. I pedaled here. It's not even the kind of bike that has a gear change.
I didn't ride my big wheel here. No. Look, I
got a baby.
Two-wheeler.
I'm not a kid.
I want this movie that's unrated. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
I worked in a video store when I was younger, and we had that sort of room with the not quite porn in it, off to the side behind a curtain. And the contortions people would go through, and I just could not have given less of a crap.
Right.
I'm like,
I'm paid minimum wage. You go look whatever you want.
Oh, okay. You shouldn't ask my opinion on a video because what the hell do I know?
Not knowledgeable.
I don't
also,
care.
I think that breaks some sort of social compact where you're like,
yeah,
hey,
no,
is this a good one?
Sorry, dude. Man. Did you rewind it? That's what makes it good for me.
That's all I care about. I got to listen to 6 videotape rewinders running all day.
They're like, well, I'm real sorry. I'm returning it late. And I'm like, too much information, bud. Just too much.
Put it in the slot.
$2,
Put it in the slot. That's the extent of our social interaction.
Yeah. We've already talked too much about nurses at night 4, or whatever.
Right. Which they should have stopped after the trilogy.
Well, not according to that guy.
Right. Let's see. Next,
it's got pause blur all over it.
Pause. I don't know. I don't know if you need pause blur with porn. With porn, you probably just can let it run, right? You fast forward through the talking scenes, but
it's probably too much talking at this point.
Probably.
All right, we have yet another Billion Oyster Project story,
but it's DARPA, so it's probably legit science.
Well, it's always been legit. It's just
I didn't pick this one. I don't know which of you guys wanted it.
I think Rob did.
I did. They're just building giant oyster reefs to control storm surge,
which is great.
Yeah, since we destroyed most of them. It's a little bit like all the problem they have with rain runoff in big cities because they've destroyed all the green spaces, paved everything.
Yeah.
And you have a piece of land that could absorb, 5 inches of water every couple hours for a few days. And now it can absorb 1 inch of water, and all of that water has to go someplace and floods your city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Florida.
Yeah.
Or Georgia.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Or the
1,000 feet
South.
above sea level somehow.
The entire
Plus, then imagine how we can flood the pearl market, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to dominate the pearl market my whole life.
Yes. I've heard that about you.
Yeah, it's a long-standing dream of mine. Guys, we have scandal to talk about. There's a scandal.
Did we already talk about this?
In the Conker World Championships.
Oh, the Conker. Yeah.
Guys, scandal has rocked. And look at the picture of that dude. That dude clearly is a Conker champion cheater.
Yeah. I don't even know what Conker is exactly.
It's a sport involving chestnuts. Yeah.
But I like that he said he just carries a steel chestnut in his pocket as a joke.
For funsies.
As one does.
Right. Yep. It's the same thing like how some of the footballs are just partially deflated, for practice.
Well, it's more like, finding a walleye filled with lead weight.
That just happens.
Yeah.
It's nice that no matter what the level of sport, that there is scandal.
Mostly, I just put this in here so that we're complete with our obscure sporting cheating scandals and our, toilet coverage.
Right. No, if there's
so on one side, it's like, okay, so they prepared 2,000 Conker chestnuts for Conker. Who knows? And one of them was steel. Maybe it just got mixed in, right? Or this guy who's been playing since the mid 70s finally had a win because he cheated. Mm-hmm. What's more likely?
Hard to say. Conker champion.
I'm thinking that King Conker wanted to actually win for once and not just have a ceremonial title, Yeah,
I don't think we need Sherlock for this one.
Nope.
Yeah. Was Sherlock Irish? No.
Yeah. It's usually the Occam's razor kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it's more likely that he cheated and that's how he got his first win in 50 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought
Sorry, King. Looks like you're gonna get demoted.
Yeah. Now you're just
Duke.
like a really bitchin' Duke.
Earl.
Yeah. The Earl of Conker.
The Earl of Conker. Mm-hmm.
I thought we posted this story. The musician,
the Viscount,
the AI army. This guy AI generated a.
Yeah, I thought we talked about that.
I thought we did this too. It's a newer article, but he generated thousands of articles or generated thousands of songs, and then had millions of accounts listening to them to collect the royalties. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I read that and it's absolutely shitty, but I don't know why that's illegal.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like card counting, right? I mean, it's like they set up the system. He just used it.
Exactly.
There's probably in the terms of service.
Yeah, but are terms of service legally binding?
Yes.
I mean, you can have whatever thing in your store like no returns, but that doesn't mean that supersedes the actual law.
Sure.
Well, I mean, the law about merchantability is very clear.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the act of collecting payment has an agreement about fraud. And I think
it defines fraud in a very specific manner.
Yeah, but like in very obfuscated language. So,
but again, that's for them. That's not the law. Sure. Just because a business puts forth a set of rules does not mean that that's the law. They could kick you off Spotify
for sure.
I don't know what is illegal about it.
Yeah, being arrested is a harder bar.
Right.
Then just you can't use our service or we sue you for money.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, the house is going to always win. Don't piss off the house or they're going to break your fingers.
Well, also, I think if he had got, thousands of dollars, maybe they wouldn't give a shit. But the millions per anytime the money gets big, people get pissed.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, when you have So I was born in a hospital started by the mafia in in Vegas. They built the hospital, Sunrise Hospital, so that it would be a more friendly place for families to move to. All right.
Sure.
My dad was working for the government. He wasn't working for the mob.
That's what he tells you.
Balance it out. You know that story. But it was very commonly known in Las Vegas that if you cheating or whatever in a card room or at a casino, you would end up in a hole in the desert, and then they grew up, oh, this isn't about the mob anymore, and so the police would take you and arrest you, if you mob. And then there's probably a level above that where you end up in a hole in the desert, but it's like they legitimized their punishment.
They just outsourced it.
Sir, you're obviously counting cards. We're going to trespass you. Get off the site, and if you show up again, you'll be arrested.
Well, that's like how every business in America outsources health insurance to Social Security, and then if they only pay you for like 28 hours a week, then they don't even have to do that. I mean, it's pretty sweet if you're garbage. Speaking of garbage, we have an Elno story.
I thought you were going to talk about Boeing Made satellite exploding into garbage.
Well, I figured I'd go to even more direct, undiluted garbage. We've got the producers.
Here's the garbage.
Yeah,
pictured.
We've got the producers of Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, right. It's not as good as him jumping around on stage
in the full Bond villain gear.
Yep, I've done it.
What a goof.
There's been a lot of Elno shit in the news lately. Well, this one was the producers of Blade Runner 2049 sued him because apparently they trained up a LLM or an AI to generate images that looked like Blade Runner, and then they used those images as part of the most recent Tesla car show or whatever, the taxi launch. And he responded by saying something like Blade Runner 2049 is a shitty movie. All right. Good job, buddy. He was also in the news today for having.
So here was their version, and here was the one from Blade Runner. It's like, I see it. So the thing is, though, it's not that he had homage to that great picture. It was that he emailed them ahead of time and asked them if he could, and they're like, nope, and he did it anyway. So again, it's just Elon being a dork,
I mean, it's kind of his
He's
thing.
like, shit, don't stink to me, bitch.
He's like, on my weekly conference call with Vladimir Putin, he said that I should do that.
Yeah.
That was
so we'll see if there's any consequences. I thought there was going to be consequences in the pedo guy lawsuit, which, by the way, was in the book Character Limit that I read.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There are no consequences once you get a net worth that's measured in the billions. There are no consequences anymore.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there is.
No. Because, the thing about the giving $1 million away to vote or whatever.
Yeah. Buying votes. Bribing votes.
Yeah. Bribing votes. There will be no consequence, especially not after Trump is reelected and they make the guy Treasury Secretary or some shit.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. We truly do live in the early stages of a new dystopia, guys.
It's the worst.
Pretty excited.
I did find the Juggalo interview insanely charming. I have to be honest with you.
So this is
Violent J.
Violent J, yeah. So you skipped one, but we could do that.
Okay. Intelsat. Boeing. Boom.
Yep. Intel lost another satellite.
No, Intelsat, not Intel.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Intelsat. Burp, burp. They lost Boeing had another satellite. They were tracking 20 pieces of trash. They're not saying what happened.
Well, I mean, it'll probably be okay. It's not like they had a lot of bad press or anything like that.
Nah, no, they'll be fine.
Be fine.
Is it wrong of me to assume that this might have been a first act of war?
Yeah, this feels more like, somebody destroying a satellite to show that they can.
Yeah.
So, and it was launched in 2016. So that means it was probably finished sometime in 2014. It's like, it's cute to drop a Boeing on something, but I don't really see it like that. I think it's more likely that it's just a satellite. Space is hard.
They had a valve problem.
Whatever, the network of 12 that they launched is bad, and another one is bad too, and that's just the cost of doing business in space. Or Russia is exerting itself,
or China, right? Because it was
China. China did so Russia did their first anti-satellite demonstration. Probably it was
a while ago.
It was like more than 10 years ago at this point, I think.
And China did one not that long ago too, right?
Back 2019, 2020. It was like, or during COVID. I don't remember when it was.
I just remember from the article it said that this one was
India
serving
did one,
Asian markets.
It's sort of like everyone does one. We did one in I think it was like the 1990s or 80s.
But I mean, that's
hey, look, we can shoot down a satellite.
Cool.
Just letting you know.
Just in case you were wondering. We got this kind of technology here, so it would be shame if something happened. One of those shiny new satellites.
Should happen to that satellite you got there.
Yeah, maybe you should agree with us on some trade negotiations, eh?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you go to war with the Nemodians.
And this is what it looked like when they had those negotiations.
Oh yeah. The high level. I'm going to screenshot that. The high level discussions between Violent J and the vice president.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you see them when they were on the Jim Jeffries show way back in the day when the FBI designated them as a gang? It's a great fucking interview. It's really good.
I mean, I went into the thing thinking that it was going to be surprising how human and wonderful they were, and I was not disappointed. Every time Juggalos get on screen, I'm like, they seem like good people.
Yeah, they don't strike me as super smart, but they also don't strike me as super evil.
Are,
Oh, I mean like the actual band.
Okay.
The actual
the whole magnet thing.
We haven't actually said that. That said the story. The story is that the Insane Clown Posse has officially endorsed Kamala Harris.
That's right.
Making locking up the Juggalo vote for 2024, which in Detroit could actually be a significant percentage of the vote. I mean, it's not like in Arizona where they're just blowing up the mailboxes with the ballots in them.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So, I hate to put it this way. The Daily Show just released a JD Vance, it turns out, is a Magic the Gathering player.
Oh, no. Oh, I bet he cheats.
Well, so they did a video and they had 4 Magic the Gathering players. And they started... I didn't love it because they kind of made fun of the Magic the Gathering players. Like in the Juggalo video, it's like they understand the Juggalo, right? They're not mean or stupid. And like in the Magic one, they're kind of jerks. It's like, dude, don't be mean to Magic people. They're nice.
They played They play a card game with their friends.
Yeah, like. So they picked the wrong guy. If they had this guy interview the Magic guys, it probably would have been a very different story, But yeah.
Sigh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad that that's going to happen. Will we have a podcast before? Yeah, we got like one more broadcast before the election in theory, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Or 2 more. We could have a live stream on the election day where we count ballots. Guys, we could call the poll. We can call it.
1.
Nope. I already voted, man.
I'm going in. I want to do it. I like it. It makes me feel like I did something with my day.
Like you stood in line.
So.
Dude, what do I got to do? I have so little on my plate most days. I watch like on average 1.5 movies a day.
Yeah.
Living the life.
Yep. So the last one that we have on the list is the story about the Russian developers who got kicked off the Linux kernel dev stuff.
Yeah, what was this about? Just ITAR list pruning?
Yeah, I came through this story from a couple of different links, and my first one was like, well, what the heck's going on there? And then you dig into it, and basically it sounds like because of the sanctions against Russia, somebody somewhere had to kick out some Russian devs, and then that happened. And then a whole ton of Russian troll bots started like spamming on people, like reopening tickets and like sending angry grams. And Linus actually came out and like wrote a pretty like knock off this bot shit letter to the mailing list. It's just an interesting story. What does he say? I'm not going to start discussing legal issues with random internet people who I seriously suspect are paid actors or have been riled up by them.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only thing you can do. You just say, nope, stop it. And if you keep doing it, we're going to keep banning you. Yeah. You know, it's like, sorry. And the thing is, in America, at least, and I'm pretty sure this is true in a number of other European countries, personal criminal liability attaches. So if you interact with, you know, a Russian entity in violation of sanctions, it's not like it's going to hit like some rando at Red Hat or at the Linux Foundation. It's going to hit you.
Yep.
So no, don't screw around with this. This is no joke. You know, it was the same thing when we would ban, you know, like Iran and stuff from SourceForge and from, you know, stuff at Google. It's like, no, I'm not going to jail. Yeah, sorry. Our governments don't get along, and I have to tell you, I'm an American citizen, so
yeah, gotta choose your battles.
Tough nerds.
Choose your battles.
You know, if you could have our governments get along, then we can bring you back. Until then, sorry, bud.
Sure.
It's not worth the trouble.
That's what we got on the zone. Let's see. Star Trek Lower Decks came back. First two episodes.
How is it?
Our first two episodes are fine. You guys don't like that show much, but I think it's silly and sweet. Agatha All Along got kind of good in the last two episodes. Like it was fine, but the last two episodes like were really entertaining as they started like putting it all together. I actually really enjoyed it, and now I'm all in on Agatha All Along. I think they made a show that was completely enjoyable for me.
I watched the first episode and I didn't return.
Yeah, and I can understand why. It's definitely fluffy, but they do a good job in the last two episodes of like making it interesting, making the characters make sense. And the last episode was a time, like a character is unlocked in time, so you get to see her story kind of play out. And it's you know me and anything messing with time. I love it. I'm a fan. I've been on a 70s sci-fi bender.
Okay.
I watched
Dark Star.
I not that long
Silent
ago.
Running.
I watched that one. No, I did Silent Running. I did Logan's Run, Rollerball. But I've just been like putzing through all these things, like movies that I might have seen or I've only seen in memes, but I watched like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So and like it's been really fun just going through and watching these old sci-fi movies and like kind of really having a feel about like whether or not they're good or not, because a lot of them aren't, but some of them are good. It's been very entertaining. I think that the best of the ones that I saw, honestly, was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Though I think that's actually a pretty dang good movie.
Yeah,
for what it is.
Sutherland
remake,
the '70s one with Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, the remake.
There's been a few of that one, so I guess I don't know. I know there's an original from the '50s, but
the original one, they have pods. They look like big pea pods that they put people in.
Well, and then there was the Heinlein did a story kind of like that, and then they made that into a movie, and it had Donald Sutherland, and that's the one that gets the meme treatment all the time.
That one was called like Puppet Masters.
Puppet Masters, that's right. It wasn't a very good movie, though.
No,
you know, it wasn't a very good short story either.
To this day, the shot of the dog with his face at the end of
so
Body
creepy.
Snatchers, I love that.
So
That's
creepy.
Good.
Transformers 1 is not really worth it. I was disappointed. I was hoping that it would be fun, but it is very much a movie for 11-year-olds. I watched, maybe for the first time ever, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was really bored in the last 20 minutes of that movie, where all that happens is scream, 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 scream. Turn the volume down because I'm so sick of listening to the screaming. I was thinking about
them to address deep-seated psychological damage and work it out in the end of that movie, or what were you expecting?
I was expecting, so I was thinking about this a lot, but what I was thinking was, in a modern movie, you can use a lot more gore, like visual gore.
There's not much gore.
There's really not a lot of gore.
A movie about cannibals who kill people with chainsaws.
Right. But because there's not a lot of gore, like the movie's scare is often leaning on just the shrill shrieking of this poor girl. And nowadays you'd do more, like a more modern horror movie would have a gory visual. They would have a jump scare that, like, they can mix and match the senses a little bit more. And also because, of course, we're so desensitized to like the almost charmingly simple violence of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
So I'm looking at Gunnar Hansen's Oeuvre in IMDb, and I think he kind of got typecast.
Yeah, maybe.
After, he was in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
I've seen that movie a couple of times, and actually that movie's kind of funny.
Did you pause it, and is it blurry in parts? Yeah.
I had that movie on a videotape when I was in middle school, so it might have been. But I actually rewatched that movie because I hadn't seen it since I was in middle school. I rewatched it a year or two ago, and it's actually really funny. Like, it's this hard-boiled detective story, but like a parody of it. It's actually, I kind of recommend you watch it as like a Looney Tunes funny movie.
So, Gunnar, who played Leatherface in the movie you watched, he was also in this movie, Reykjavik Whale Watching Massacre.
Oh,
in 2007. It's like, I mean, good for him for leaning in, but
sure,
you know. Chainsaw Sally, The Deepening, Swarm of the Snakehead, Replicator.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. So,
I hope it's not a digital alligator.
It was 1996. So
it's a challenging time for us all.
It looks like the merge of Jurassic Park and Hollywood Chainsaw Prostitutes.
So like Velocipaster.
Yeah, it's basically your after 10 o'clock on Cinemax movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Boy.
Yep.
This does not look good.
Well,
who knew that Replicator wouldn't be good?
I'm shocked by that.
It's got a lot of blurry parts, though, I think.
Yeah.
In the tape. So
I actually have like a big old list of horror movies to burn through between now and Halloween too. So I'm looking forward to getting my creepy on.
We've been going through them here. We did Cabin in the Woods, Mama.
Oh, that's good.
Let the Right One In.
Good.
Let the Right One In's great.
Yeah.
The foreign one, not the domestic one. Yeah.
Right. The original.
I'm halfway through one called Cuckoo, which is pretty scary. Did either of you see Strange Darling yet?
No.
It's pretty awesome. You should check that one out, but don't read anything, just watch it. And this is more of a recommendation, like, no, this is Rob recommending to you a good movie, not Rob recommending to you a 3-star movie that Rob thinks is fun. This is a good movie.
Okay.
Super fucked up.
Yes, Velocipastors. A movie.
Velocipaster is kind of garbage, but my problem with Velocipaster...
It's not Reykjavik Whale Watching Massacre.
The problem with Velocipaster... Yeah. Well, but it has the same problem. When you make a movie like that, if you know you're trying to be funny, that puts you into a different category. And that's a movie where they know they're trying to be funny. And so it's not as good as when a movie like is trying to be serious and just failing. Do we have anything else on our list? I think we have a hard stop in 3 minutes for one of you.
We do.
Yeah.
All right. The Whale Watching Massacre.
Ah.
All right. There it is.
Fish Billies. Interesting.
All right, gentlemen.
I mean, lean in.
All right. I'm leaning. I'm going to lean right past Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
And Chris DeBona.
See ya.
That was episode 863 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Taco Malta, and we will see you some other time. Bye-bye.